It's complicated. One more, but let's watch It's Complicated. Man Enough, the best channel on YouTube.
Can you name some controversial women's issues?
Abortion, wage gap, and patriarchy.
Controversial women's issues.
Abortion.
Oh, that's a good one.
Abortion's good.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Of course we are.
Oh, well, I don't know. Like, name all of them.
Can you just name a few controversial women's issues?
Oh, issues.
Wage gap.
The wage gap.
Boop. We back. You can't stop me.
The
Honestly,
sexual assault. Me too.
Patriarchy.
the Madonna horror complex.
Can you name any men's issues?
Oh, men's issues.
They need to treat women better.
Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, yeah. Bomboka!
You laughing way too hard at that. How you still?
Okay.
What the fuck?
Allahu Akbar!
Why are you laughing so hard at erectile dysfunction?
Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I mean, like, can you
That was a little bit too funny, shorty.
name any, like, men's struggles?
Oh, struggle.
Mental health.
Yeah, mental health. That's definitely.
Actually, men commit rates. They actually commit suicide the most.
More. Yeah.
Women attempt more, but men are more successful.
Yeah, women don't even really. They attempt more because they want attention. So they'll be like, my wrists are bleeding. Someone save me. Men, it's just like, I fucking quit. We are action oriented. Facts over feelings. I want to delete. Bye. Boo. Women.
Bomboka!
Even in life and death situations, when it comes to deleting, the efficiency of a man, we get the job done. We want to delete yourself, we done. Do it. Ain't nobody got it. We don't get everybody else involved. Women attempt it like 5 times more than men because you don't really want to do it. Fuck. That's dark.
And can you name any men's issues?
Yeah, like toxic masculinity.
You see how she's repeating TikTok stuff? Madonna horror, toxic masculinity.
Just honestly, the patriarchy affects everyone.
Patriarchy. Got it. Okay, 3 for 3.
So like,
Why do you think men's mental health is in crisis?
The stigma behind it, and it's negatively
Yeah, they're
looked
afraid to
upon.
like talk about it, and especially like family just like kind of shames that sometimes.
Why are men...
That's bullshit. It's not the stigma around it. It's everything else in the world that oppresses men on a regular basis, and we act like it isn't a problem. So when women go say stuff like toxic masculinity, or when we talk about the self-deletion rate for men being 3 times or 5 times higher than women, it's not because we can't talk about our feelings. It's everything else suppressing our natural urges, and you can hear it in their answers. They will tell you to be masculine, and then I'll say, if you're too masculine, it's toxic. You cannot be a man anymore without offending somebody. So most guys, and guys like Fresh, who was just in the chat, will just be like, hey, let's have a good time. I don't care, buddy. I don't care. Let's have a good time. Because if you are naturally what a man wants to be, you are offending people.
Typically the ones blamed for inflating a woman's ego.
Because most guys love to tell women how beautiful they are.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
Yep, Disney movies, the brainwashing. We've all told to give women flowers, be a gentleman, chivalry is dead, so keep it alive, hold the door open. It's not our fault, it's the programming.
Yes. And to respect women, ever since we're little, for sure.
I don't know, but we don't do that. They inflate their own ego.
Right, but I mean, what about simps? Simps are blamed for inflating a woman's ego, correct?
Yeah. And that's just degrading the value of the man, is what it does.
Weren't men groomed to be that way?
Yes.
I hate to say it. Yes, they were groomed to be simps. We're supposed to come in and just go with what goes on, just conform with the household, go out, work, bring it all in, and
we are supposed to treat a lady with respect, but no, we're not groomed to be lower ourselves for something else.
There we are. When you propose to a woman, you get on a knee. You're degrading yourself. When you propose to a woman, you're supposed to get a ring that costs you a 3-month salary. She doesn't have to do it. She just has to show up and be a virgin. Just don't fuck too much. We need to give a quarter of your year's salary in order for a chance that you might want to be with us. Get on a knee and beg, please.
Because if I lower myself to come to your level, I can't help you get to my level.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men and their ego?
No.
Absolutely. Women choose. Women are choosers.
Are women equally guilty for demoralizing men
Well, they are equally guilty, but nobody holds them accountable.
and their ego?
Yes, they are, because, you know, women just could, like I said, they could easily go on some kind of social media and just post a picture of themselves and expect the man to go ahead and give her everything she needs because she's wearing makeup, basically. And you know what? That's not how it should be. It should be an even playing field for the both of us.
Aren't women raised to be spoiled as princesses?
Women are raised. Women are coddled. They absolutely are. Yeah.
So if so, why isn't that given any attention?
Well, because it's a woman world. Yeah.
That's the way it is.
It's everything, you know, rules around women. It's whatever the woman says, that's what the man's gonna do.
I mean, I got a kid too, so I'm guilty of this. So
He's got a daughter and he spoils the fuck out of her, right?
I don't know. It's just, I think it's something innate in us biologically. We just want to build, protect, and our princess or little girls are somebody we can protect. I mean, obviously, since the moment they're born.
Do you find it hypocritical when parents advise their...
Chad, I want to do the Lee so bad, but you know, I got a cyberbullying strike and this ain't my channel. But it's time to, if anything, if you were going to deplatform me, at least deplatform these eyebrows, these eyelashes.
sons to avoid gold diggers while also advising their daughters to find a man who will take care of them?
What'd you say?
Find a man to advise their sons to avoid gold diggers while also advising their daughters to find a man who will take care of them.
It makes no sense.
It's hypocritical, but it's the way of the world. Doggy dog world, baby.
Are men no longer providing because women don't want to submit, or are women no longer submitting because men don't want to provide?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm so glad that you asked that.
It's the first one. And men want to provide, right, Chad? Type of one if you want to provide for a woman.
I think it is because
Sorry.
Women don't want to submit because of, you know, sometimes the guy's not worth it. A woman will submit if the guy if she feels safe, if she feels secure, if he treats her right and respectful. So yeah, we will. It's almost it's automatic. You don't even have to say it. A woman will submit.
A man is put on this world to take care of the woman. So a man is that, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what a woman's supposed to look for. A man that's able to take care of them. And a man is on that.
It's like copy and paste with all. It's like the purse, the giant colorful wig. It's just these copy paste women walking around, the same lip gloss, the same eyelashes, the same giant clown wig, colorful thing, the purse, the tight jeans, and the same exact TikTok personality.
I don't think that's a question for a man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what were women put on this planet for?
To produce, to nurture. Hello.
So then why are there so many women encouraged and raised to be independent rather than nurturing?
A lot of women were raised without fathers. So how could you know how to be a woman to a man if you didn't have a dad?
Well, right, but a lot of men were raised without fathers, so how could a man know how to be a leader and a provider to a woman if he didn't have a man teaching him that masculine role?
I guess that's just something we all got to figure out together.
Why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, aka confidence, while people continue to blame men for women's inflated ego?
It falls under the social norm, I believe. Like I said, it's just my personal opinion. We're meant to hold that certain status. We're meant to be strong, you know, be a guy.
We have to have confidence as men. We're the king of the jungle, man. We're the most.
Thank you for the 14. He says these problems don't exist in other countries. Clown world. No, they don't. All the answer to all these questions comes down to, like, do we even realize that we're being programmed by more powerful people? Do we realize that we are told that traditional values are wrong so that we make no sense and we run it around and we have all these problems And we don't realize why we believe in these ideas in the first place because it was all programmed into us from birth. It's clown world.
Dangerous species on this earth. If we wasn't, it wouldn't look like this, you know. So as a man, we have to have absolute confidence in ourselves.
I think it really starts at the gym with other guys. We compete with each other, so we have to always appear strong. But yeah, you're right. We always seem to always put a little weakness when it comes down to the woman. We'll be strong for other dudes, but girls, we always try to, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, why are men expected to have a healthy perception of themselves, but we don't hold women to a standard of having a healthy perception of them? In other words, we expect men to have confidence, but we don't expect women to be humble.
I think, okay, so this is a good question. I think it's because it comes down to the ego.
So men have to be realistic and women don't.
Women do not have as much ego, so they're not required for all of that, you know, to be humble, to be all these different things. We only really require them. We as men require them to just look good and just come along for the most part.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
Oh, that's a good question.
But I also said toxic masculinity. You know what they do? Call you dick small, say you're not a real man, come at your masculinity, but also complain when we're too masculine for you. It makes no sense.
Why do I attack masculinity?
Because women run the world.
Masculinity.
What?
Why do I attack masculinity?
Because women run the world.
But you also said patriarchy. You also complain about the patriarchy and how men have too much power, but you're also aware that women run the world. So which is it? What is the real problem that's going on? This is what I'm saying. It's just programming. Thank you for the donuts, Shay.
Masculinity, as in,
like you don't lift enough. Like you're not manly enough. You're not a man.
I didn't know they did that. Personally,
of course, the Lee lives in delusion, and the one with she's looking at the regular girl is looking at the Lee like, are you fucking stupid? You don't know that girls attack masculinity? Where the fuck have you been living?
I like a feminine man.
What?
Bomboka!
What?
But I think if a woman goes for that, it's just because throughout history, that's like the biggest defining factor of like what a man is like they're a manly man.
The easiest hit.
Isn't that hitting below the belt?
Hitting below the belt?
Literally.
What do you mean
To
by
attack,
that? Sorry.
to attack someone's masculinity.
Yeah.
Is it any wonder?
They don't understand that analogy. Hitting below the belt means like when you're fighting boxing and somebody punches your balls because it's a cheap shot because it's going to hit you where it's kind of unfair instead of attacking, you know, the stuff that we all train for.
Why men's mental health is in crisis?
Absolutely, yes, because, you know, women believe that just because they throw on some makeup and look pretty, that they can get any man. And this is really taking advantage of the man. And, you know, because you might not be a good looking guy, that you might not have all this money, you might not have all this stuff, then that's putting you in a status where you basically get ignored by a lot of women, which
this guy looks like Tyler the Creator in 2011.
Just a terrible thing for a lot of men today.
It is often said life isn't fair. Who is more likely to be expected to accept injustice, men or women?
Men. Be honest. Be honest.
Women.
If it's not men, why do we have the expression take it like a man?
And you don't say take it like a woman because that sounds like grape. Imagine if a woman got hurt and then instead of like giving compassion like we do, because when a woman's crying on the side of the road, no one goes, take it like a woman. It's gonna make you cry more. When a man falls down, you're taught, stop crying, take it like a man, get the fuck up. You gotta be held accountable. You gotta fix your shit. Stop crying. When a woman's crying, everybody is trying to see what's wrong.
You're good. Because men are supposed to have this strong front, you know, so.
And women don't have to be strong. Women do not have to live in reality. They can be in delusion in their head.
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. But a woman can define what a man is.
Not.
So then what gives women the right to define what a man is?
We don't.
But didn't you just say a man's supposed to be this and a man's supposed to be that?
Supposed to.
That's defining what a man is. A man is supposed to be this. If I go out here saying a woman should be skinny, I'm canceled. A woman shouldn't be fat. I'm canceled. You can't say that. I can't define, this is my body, this is my choice. But you get to declare everything about a man. This is what a real man does. A real man would take it like a man. Be a man. You see the double standards that she just pointed out at 38 years old?
Yeah.
Is that not defining what a man is?
Well, somewhat, but not.
Don't take accountability for your own answer.
Just clear like that.
If it's not men,
great. Oh my God, that was great.
Why do we have the expression "take it like a man"?
Well, I never heard "take it like a woman."
So then, wouldn't the answer be men?
It would be men.
We talk about things. A lot of times men don't. They don't like to tell us their problems. They don't, they shut down easily. Most women, they'll talk about things and issues, but a lot of times men are silent, so they kind of withhold.
But do you think that men often withhold their feelings because when they express their feelings, it's often shamed and made fun of?
No. I think from growing up, they always say, well, men, you're not supposed to cry. Take it like a man. So they have to build this persona.
Is it any wonder why men's mental health is in crisis?
Yes, because soon as a man opens up to a woman and tells them like their deepest, darkest secrets,
they use it against you. She knows it. Be aware. So they're going to talk about men can't open up, but then women's only power is using your weakness against you.
Women tend to use that against men. And
thank you.
I don't know why.
Look at her eyelashes. She's got regular eyelashes, so she makes regular sense. The mark of delusion. She has the makes sense.
Woman, and I don't know why.
What is the difference between sexism and racism?
Sexism and racism, there is no difference. The one is discrimination of color, and one is discrimination of sex.
What's the difference between telling a black man you're not black enough and telling a man you're not man enough?
There's no difference. Great question.
Oh, that's a good one. Telling a black man he's not black enough can be...
That's racist.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's the same thing. I've been told that my whole life. I've been in the hood, I've been in the suburbs. In the suburbs, they said you're white. In the hood, they say you're black.
Too black for the white kids, too white for the black.
Or other way around, actually, I'm sorry. You're not white enough, you're not black enough.
And black enough, as you can see, I make racism look stupid.
You too white and too black at the same time.
Two different colors. So, to me, it's just to me that's a funny question. Literally, like, it makes me laugh because...
Yo, can you say the N-word or not?
How can you ask someone who's lighter than a white guy about someone who's black, Is
he mixed race?
It's just an interesting concept, but like I said, I think that just it goes back to the racism being a system and how people are used to...
This was Michael Jackson halfway through the surgery.
Or falling victim to...
This is what Logic thinks he looks like.
To that system.
This is Drake if God messed up.
Racism being a system and how people are used to or falling victim to that system.
This is what happens to Obama if he was programmed in Microsoft Paint instead of Photoshop.
In my book, that's equal, man.
Or falling victim to that system. He looked... Oh, shit. Help me out, chat. No. What do he look like? He looked like, he looked like a biracial cow.
Racism being a system and how people are used to or falling victim to that system.
This is Eminem after his first album.
In my book, that's equal, man.
So why is it okay for women to be sexist but not racist?
It's definitely not okay for them to be sexist.
It's allowed. No, it's okay for them all to be sexist.
Why is non-blatant racism often exaggerated while blatant sexism is often ignored and made fun of?
Because, like I said, it goes back to the thing where women are always coddled. If a man came out there was, start crying and all this other shit, of course we're going to get ridiculed. Like, you can't do that as a man. You have a masculinity figure to show. And
And then if you're too masculine, it's toxic. You see how it makes no sense now? Men have living in a clown world. We got to navigate all this bullshit just to exist.
female can absolutely do that, but that's not how it should be. Everything should be, you know, on a same playing field. But
falls under that social norm category. I mean, you know, there's movements that support, you know, things like that, but we have very little support on our end. So we just, back to that one word, take it like a man.
I know this, when a man's going through a struggle, people aren't going to listen to him. When a woman is going through a struggle, the whole world knows.
Speaking of not being man enough, is the modern man not man enough to handle the modern woman, or is the modern woman too much to handle?
I feel like the modern woman is too much to handle.
You see how she makes so much sense without the eyelashes?
Because this day and age, women, they're under the impression that they really don't need a man, so therefore they become that much more independent.
And they become masculine.
To where that they're like, okay, well, if you can do it, I can do it. A lot of things that men were capable of, like women didn't have the rights to work for a long time. And then once we were able to work, okay, well, now it's the sense of, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
Does a man have the right to define what a woman is?
Hell no.
No.
So then what gives women the right to define what a man is?
The double standard.
They do not.
And they do every day.
But they do, don't they?
I mean, they can give their opinion, but they don't have the right to, in my opinion.
A real man would go buy me flowers. A real man wouldn't text her back.
But when I was raised, men are supposed to be strong. We were taught that they weren't supposed to really be emotional. They were supposed to support us. So it's kind of like programming.
Even with the you pointed it out. It's the program. We are all being brainwashed. At least, you know what? You just proved I'm wrong. Maybe I programmed myself into not believing your lees, but don't mess up now.
Isn't that defining what a man is?
I guess so.
Why do you think that men's mental health is in crisis?
Because of toxic masculinity. Yeah, they're taught to be strong and not care about.
A men's mental health is in crisis because of toxic masculinity. They have no idea what's going on.
About things, and so, you know.
Yeah, it's all toxic.
They look like a Disney Channel friend group. They don't look like they're really friends, right? This looks like a school diversity picture on the front of the website to show how inclusive they
Be
are.
strong and not care about things, and so, you know.
Yeah, it's all toxic masculinity. They're taught to not think about stuff, and that if like they're not, men aren't introspective.
They're also not always willing to talk about it though, even if they want.
Men aren't introspective. Okay, but men make all the best books, all the best movies, all the best art, which requires introspection. Movies made by women suck. You don't really make movies. That requires you to think and to look inwards. Like, you think you're introspective because you cry? Like, what do you
want to? And that's
for some women, it can be like connecting, you know, like you like
intimacy.
realize that they have like a soft side, and like we're into that sometimes, you know.
Has a man crying ever gotten a woman wet?
Not me. It's not gotten me wet. Like I've been
No,
concerned.
but it makes me, you know, have a lot of empathy.
Bomboka! What is the difference between the masculinity that women find attractive versus toxic masculinity?
I think masculinity
They don't know. Ready for her to say nonsense?
where you find attractive is where you're not thinking about that actively as a man. When you can like
so good.
yeah, you know what?
You're just masculine naturally. Yes, you're not performing. You're not. Masculinity doesn't mean misogyny.
Why are some people...
Yeah, see, they just have no idea what it takes to be a man. Like, to be a man who's in charge and masculine like you want, it's constant thinking. You're almost playing chess in these roles. You need to learn how to get to that point. And to master you, it's thinking all the time. Always on point, never lacking. Always pistol packing with them automatics. We're going to set them to heaven. You could never be caught with your pants down. That means you always have to be on point. You just don't want to notice that we're thinking about it. You want us to be so masculine, so much stronger than you, that you don't even see what's going on. We're running laps around you mentally.
Masculinity doesn't mean misogyny.
Why? Because, you know, I've been around like some of the most like masculine men, the richest, strongest, like fighters and everything like that. And the way that they talk to their girlfriends, stuff like that, it's like they see it as second nature, right? be getting coffee and tea, like doing whatever, sitting in the corner. Okay, and as soon as they leave the room, you see how she was just getting me coffee and tea just like that? Yo, that took ages. Like, yo, bro, you got her in point. She acting great. And then as soon as he comes back, it's like, oh, can you get us another call? Give me. You have to talk. It's a conscious thing you're constantly doing. It doesn't just come second nature. It's learned. They just don't know. They don't know what's going on.
Why are some people willing to accept that life isn't fair while other people want to change the world?
I feel like people that feel like life isn't fair are people who can't acknowledge their own wrongs. I feel like it's those people that's inexperienced with life and just need someone to blame. I read a really interesting book called The Four Agreements. It was about Toltec knowledge, and it pretty much talked about how...
Would he be in the fields or in the house?
People's negative energy reflects on other people ultimately because of themselves. So I feel like life isn't fair. Life is what you make it, and just make it the best, you know?
Chad, I know he got a skin disease. I'm just cracking some jokes. I'm deplatformed already. Blah, blah, blah.
I unfortunately, I grew up all in, you know, I was homeless since I was 3 years old. So for me to be having an interview with a guy like you means a lot to me. And for me to never use my adolescence as an excuse, it just answers the question. Sometimes we gotta step outside of ourselves, really look at ourselves and what we're in, and play chess.
Why do people insist that things will never change when history has proven that things have already changed?
Ditto with that one, because history, like I said, repeats itself. And even though certain things back in the day has changed, the common denominator is still there.
Why do so many people believe we're living in a male-dominated patriarchy if the standards and selectivity of women is what you believe drives civilization to become better?
Wow. I think it's getting backwards. I think people are forgetting how much men have contributed to the whole society and the world as a whole. And yes, now women have the rights to basically play those parts like a man, but most of them don't choose to be that, and they like a man actually doing these kind of things.
It's a man's world, man. Women are trying to come up, but they don't want to do the jobs that we do. They don't want to go to war. Some of them do, very select few. They don't want to go to war. They don't want to be down in these sewers.
Shout out to everybody who got to wear a tool belt. And there's probably people watching this right now. The overlooked jobs that people don't talk about. The people who keep the water running, who keep the lights on, who take out the trash, who make sure the roads are working. The people like risking their life to make sure that everything functions. Shout out to you. And I want to see one in the chat for those people. The most overlooked people in the world. Nobody respects them anymore. The people on the front lines, the people with hard hats on. Nobody really celebrates that. And when women talk about being girl bosses and CEOs, they never talk about getting those jobs, man. Shout out to y'all.
Cleaning up. They don't want to be building these buildings and stuff like that. I mean, that's something they would rather do. But if that's the truth, if it's not a man's world, then they need to get down in the sewers and go do it.
I was just saying, all this was built to have a woman have a really good time. I mean, it was used to be just a building, and a woman said, hey, I want to gamble with it too. I want to eat here too. I want to dance here too. And they just put everything in there. So yeah, women definitely